Harold never thought something so private, so small, could end up unraveling his entire life. He was 67, retired, a widower with time on his hands, but no desire for intimacy anymore. Not with someone else, not even alone. He told himself it didn't matter, that sex, touch, pleasure, those were things for younger men, men who still had something to prove, something to feel. But as the months passed, Harold began to notice something was off. He wasn't sleeping right, his mood slipped. Erections faded, first they weakened, then they disappeared altogether. His belly started to hang heavier. His memory, once sharp, began failing him. Simple words, familiar names, they vanished mid-sentence. At first, he blamed age. This is just what happens, he told himself, but something deeper was wrong, and then came the breaking point. He met someone, a woman from his church, sweet, warm, easy to talk to. They held hands, kissed. She leaned in close, and Harold's body did nothing, no response, not even a flicker. He went home that night and sat in the dark, wondering, is this it? Is that part of me gone forever? I'm Dr. Blake Morgan, board-certified urologist and men's health specialist, and what I'm about to share might feel uncomfortable. But it could change your health and your identity in ways you never expected. Because here's the truth, if you stop masturbating after 60, your body doesn't just adjust. It starts to shut down, bit by bit, system by system. And not just your sex drive, but your hormones, your blood flow, your memory, even your heart. This isn't about shame, it's about science. And if you're a man in your 60s, 70s, or beyond, you need to understand just how powerful and necessary this one habit can be for your health. So take a moment, breathe, subscribe to the channel for more unfiltered men's health advice, and let's talk honestly, because the risks of stopping go far beyond the bedroom. Let's start with something most men overlook: blood flow. When you stop masturbating, your body isn't just saying, "I'm not interested." It's receiving a signal that says, there's no need to send blood there anymore. You know how muscles shrink when you don't use them. The same thing happens to your penis. Without regular stimulation, even just a few erections per week, your penile tissue begins to weaken. Blood flow slows. Oxygen doesn't reach those critical smooth muscles. Over time, this leads to penile fibrosis, a fancy term for hardening and stiffening of the tissues, but not in the way you want. This is why sleep erections are so vital. They're not just random, they're nature's way of keeping things alive down there. Without them, your penis literally begins to atrophy. That's what happened to Harold. Months of zero activity meant no nighttime erections, no spontaneous arousal. When the moment came, his body couldn't perform, not because he didn't want to, but because it had forgotten how. This isn't theory, it's biology, and it gets worse. Next comes your hormones. Masturbation isn't just about pleasure, it's part of a hormonal feedback loop. When you engage sexually, your body responds. Testosterone rises, dopamine spikes, cortisol, your stress hormone, drops. But when you go without stimulation for long stretches, the opposite happens. Testosterone begins to decline, not just from age, but from disuse, and that has a cascade effect. Lower energy, belly fat accumulation, muscle loss, slower metabolism, brain fog, depression, loss of confidence. You see, your body is always reading signals. When you engage in sexual activity, it says, we're still in the game, let's keep testosterone production up. But when there's no activity, the body assumes reproduction is no longer necessary. It conserves energy, lowers output. You become flat, dulled, almost invisible to yourself. I've had men come to my office thinking they need testosterone injections when what they really needed was touch. A simple return to self-pleasure, just once or twice a week, can remind the body, I'm still here, still alive, still a man. Now let's talk about something even more powerful, your brain. When you climax, your brain releases a wave of neurotransmitters: dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, endorphins. These aren't just pleasure chemicals. They regulate your sleep, focus, mood, and even your immune system. But when you suppress those releases for months or years, you lose your most natural source of emotional regulation. Older men who stop all sexual activity, especially solo, often report higher anxiety, restlessness, shorter tempers, trouble sleeping, a kind of emotional numbness they can't explain. That's not just psychological, it's chemical. You're denying your brain the very balance it needs to function clearly. Think of it like a valve that never opens. Pressure builds, tension increases. You might not notice it at first, but it starts to bleed into every part of your life. Your patience, your memory, your ability to feel joy. Even your sleep gets hijacked. Without that post-orgasm release, your body stays on mode, overstimulated, anxious, tired, but wired. And here's where it gets truly dangerous. When you stop masturbating because of shame or guilt, you enter a mental trap. Many men over 60 were raised to believe that self-pleasure is dirty, immature, sinful, so when their sex life slows down, they don't pivot to solo pleasure. They shut down entirely, out of respect, out of fear, out of conditioning. But biology doesn't care about culture, and shame doesn't prevent decline, it accelerates it. I've had patients, men in their 70s, come into my office whispering the word masturbation like it's a confession. One man, John, was 72, deeply religious, widowed, hadn't touched himself in over 10 years, told himself it was wrong. He was depressed, exhausted, couldn't sleep, struggled to remember his kids' birthdays. We talked, we explored. I gave him permission, not just to feel pleasure, but to reclaim his health. 6 months later, he was smiling again, sleeping again. He told me, I didn't know how much I'd buried myself. Masturbation didn't solve everything, but it opened the door to healing, to life. And here's what many men don't realize. This isn't just about erections or testosterone. It's about identity. When you stop engaging with your body, you send a powerful subconscious message. I'm done, but you're not. Your body may age, but your need for connection to yourself, your vitality, your masculinity never disappears. Even gentle touch, no fantasies, no visuals, just intentional connection can maintain circulation, regulate hormones, and reconnect you with the man you are. This doesn't have to be every day, once or twice a week. That's all it takes, not for lust, for health, for life. So if you've been avoiding touch because of age, grief, shame, trauma, I want you to hear this. You are not broken. You are not done. You are not too old. Your body is still listening to you, still responding, still capable of pleasure, of healing, of strength. Start small, no pressure, no goal, just curiosity. Breathe, touch your arm, your chest, your stomach, get reacquainted. If arousal comes, welcome it. If it doesn't, no problem, it will, in time. And when it does, you'll remember something profound, that you are still alive, that you still matter, that your body is still yours. Harold eventually came back. He took my advice, started with a gentle routine, once a week, then twice. 3 months later, he went on another date. This time, when the moment came, his body responded, not like when he was 30. But enough to remind him that he wasn't gone, that he was still here, still a man, still Harold. Don't wait until your body forgets what it means to be alive. Touch it, feel it, honor it. You deserve that, you always have.